Yo, this is W Soul 13, bringing you Raid Shadow Legends. So today, we're going to be doing the minimum spiders comps, right? So we're going to go from probably 11, 13, and then 16. 20, so there is a way to do 20. The only thing is you will need at least two decreased turn meter champs to do it. So I'm not quite there yet in terms of should it just be two Arbigers or whatever. We'll see. All right. But this comp is ready. This is like the minimum thing, right? So when you first start out, you're doing the F2P Trinity thing, right? So you're going to have something like this where you have Haikatoon, Armiger, probably your Armiger is going to be level 50 by this point, and then you're going to have Kale, right? And then, so we already know that stage 11 is a good place, like a minimum place for starting the game out. And Spiders is one of those kind of like really tricky dungeons because it's basically fought in through, well, it's like two different phases, but there's kind of like a limbo in between. So I'm going to call it 3 phases, right, to do Spiders 20. The first phase is going to be from stage 1 to stage 13, 14-ish. 13 is kind of like a nice little midway point from 11 to 16. You can still get kind of like the stage 16 end game type gear. It's not going to be the most energy efficient, so you don't get the energy efficiency of stage 11, but you do get kind of like the luck factor of pulling end game gear of the stage 16 runs. So 13 is kind of like a nice little midway point, I think. And coincidentally, 13 is where this kind of comp ends. So what is phase 1 of beating spiders? Phase 1 of beating spiders is focusing on AoE attacks to control the spiderlings. That's it. So you could have an Armiger in there, you could not have an Armiger in there, right? And this could be scaled up close to stage 13, I think. So I've done it before on, how did I do it when I was doing stage 13 before? I think I was doing it with Rear Guard Sergeant, if I'm not mistaken. So once we start to get around stage 13, we do want a little bit more nukes. The only thing is, are we gonna survive without a little bit of healing? We'll see. We'll see if we could just go all nukes. I think we probably are. If your third nuker is also on lifesteal set. I'm leaning towards, I think it's possible with lifesteal set, but we'll see. So for a lot of people, you're probably gonna get some kind of AoE type carry champ / nuker type champ. So we're just gonna sub in Dark Elaine for now and see what happens, right? So what was that? That's War Maiden right there. Okay. Maybe we move my face here so you can see what the champs are doing. Okay, so let's see if this works. I think it will work. Well, we'll see. So yeah. So is it gonna be as fast as I'm doing right now? Obviously not, right? So when you're farming 13 early on in the game, it's something like 4-minute runs, maybe 4, 5, 6-minute runs. Usually around 4 minutes. And Armiger is just there to kind of like take up space and decrease the turn meter, deal some damage. But really, the damage is coming from your AoE nukers. So it's gonna be Kaelin War Maiden, of course. Haikatoon is great because she does have that little. So this is kind of like where your third AoE nuker is better on a lifesteal set, I think. You know, it doesn't have to be like that if you're dealing a lot of damage like I am right now. So you're just kind of like power through the run with just pure damage. But, you know, earlier on the game, this AoE nuker will have to have some kind of lifesteal type stuff. So Could this be Broadmaw? Yeah, but the thing is, once Broadmaw is introduced into the picture, so Broadmaw is not a nuker, he's more of a carry champ, right? So the reason why we're talking like this is because I'm going to introduce like a stage 16 farming comp that can be scaled up to 20 with the right addition. So it's the entire comp itself is not fully scalable to 20. You'll need another champ to do that. But I'm going to show you. So yeah, stage 13. So this is phase 1. Phase 2 is you pushing through. All right. Phase 2 is you pushing through 14 and 15 to get to 16. However you do that, it's going to be up to you. In general, early in the game, it's kind of a little hard to do. You only need to do it once because these stages are not great farming stages. So you're either doing 13 or 16. That's it. There's not much point to doing 14 or 15 unless your comp somehow, some way has a better percentage on 14 and 15 than 13. That will be the only reason. But in general, it's not really a thing people do. So this is the stage 16 addition to spiders. Let's take Dark Elaine out. And we're going to add Broadmaw in. And now we need to focus more on controlling the spiderlings and controlling the spider queen. So the best ways to do that would be something like Zephyr Sniper and what's that? Archmage Helmet. So yeah. So this comp is available around 4 to 5 months into the game once you have Archmage Helmet. So it does take a while to get Archmage Helmet, especially earlier on in the game because some of the secret rooms are downright difficult for a starting account to do. But yeah, around 4 to 5 months in, maybe 6 months stops, you'll be able to get Archmage Helmet. Once you have Archmage Helmet, then this comp is available to you. Archmage Helmet is actually, you can swap him out with somebody else, somebody that does control AoE. It's the same problem as before. Let's move my face there. So yeah, I've already tested this comp out. It absolutely works in 16. And so the first thing that people are going to ask about a comp like this is, wow, you have 2 uncommons in there. How in the hell are you going to be able to gear them out at 5 to 6 months into the game? The answer to that, honestly, will surprise you a little bit because it's actually not that hard to do. The reason why it's not that hard to do, apart from Armiger, so the only thing about doing this comp, there are some caveats, obviously. Number 1 is that you can't have a Force Affinity champ here. Once you have a Force Affinity champ, it ruins the entire thing because Spiderlings are going to go after affinity weaknesses first. Yeah, so that's actually a big time weakness of doing it this way. The other big time weakness of this is that Armiger needs to have more HP than Zephyr Sniper. I mean, of course, Haikatoon also needs to have more HP than Zephyr Sniper. Obviously, Broadmaw is going to have more HP than everybody else because he's your carry champ. And then Archmage Helmet, your control champ, is blue affinity, is magic affinity. So everybody's going to avoid your magic affinity champ. So what does that mean? That means that you're going to have to play around with the stats a lot. And this is kind of like the difficult part with spiders, is just the playing around with the stats. That's why giving you like a flat stat recommendation is just not really good, because it really, really depends on your comp. So everything we've done in terms of stat threshold still hold true here. So you want like 40k HP, you still want the 170 speed, right? So for the only big difference here is that Zephyr Sniper, you want to keep her below 30k HP. So really, if you're gonna build a Zephyr Sniper to be a tank, this might be a separate video altogether. You know, I might do like a separate Zephyr Sniper video, because really, in order to build her out to be a Spiderling tank, you need to keep her HP below 30k, but her defense has to be above 3.5k. So as close to 4k as you can get it. And then to top that off, you need her resist to be over, I think 250, I think, to scale all the way up to Spider 20. I think the number is 250. So it's kind of hard to do. Plus, in order to have her not, so there's two ways to do Zephyr Sniper. There's the gimmicky way, which is the really low stat way to do it, and the gimmicky way to do Zephyr Sniper is just to double down on any kind of counter attack things that you can find. So if you have revenge accessories, that works. If you can have her on, I'm not sure if revenge set works, because you do need the lifesteal. So she needs to be on lifesteal set first of all. But you need to find a way to have her do a counter attack on her A1, AOE. She gets all the life back, right? So below 30k HP, high def, high resist. The low speed version is gonna rely on her proccing that counter attack. If the counter attack doesn't proc, your run is over. So that's kind of like, that's the tricky part with having Zephyr Sniper as your Spiderling tag. So that's been explored already. Every content creator has explored that idea with Zephyr Sniper. So the only thing that you can really add to that would be to increase her speed, so she can naturally just take her turn and then get the life back. So that increase of speed has to be really high, like over 200. And earlier on in the game, it's really hard to build her like that. One, she's an uncommon. And then two, so that means her base stats are going to be low. And then two, your gear is not going to be great. And your, what is that called? Arena? Great Hall is not going to be great too. But, have I said this on a video before? I'm trying to remember if I have. If I haven't said this on a video before, actually one of the best areas in Great Hall to max out first is Spirit Affinity versus any other affinity. It's so funny because everybody says, oh, Magic Affinity is the best because of Kale, or, you know. But to me, it's more Spirit Affinity because this is the affinity that doesn't require luck. Of course, you play into whatever you draw, right? You pull Magic Affinity, and your Magic Affinity is a debuffer. You go that direction. You pull Force Affinity, same thing. Void, doesn't matter. But if you don't have any of that stuff, if you're playing on a minimum luck basis, Spirit Affinity is the best bang for your buck because you hit Haikatun, you hit Armiger, and you hit Zephyr Sniper all at the same time. While Zephyr Sniper doesn't need accuracy, Haikatun and Armiger needs accuracy. And then getting that first few upgrades of resist actually helps. So the other funny thing about Zephyr Sniper is she gets to make use of the gear most people complain about, which is the resist double roll resist gears, right? So the 1, 2, 3 rolls of resist on your gear that is crap for most champs. If it has speed on it, it's actually pretty decent on Zephyr Sniper, right? So I think my original build for Zephyr Sniper, I kid you not, is like a 4-star resist banner. Trying to remember. And just a bunch of like hodgepodge little jank pieces. So I think you can look this up on my Spiders 20 post on Reddit about like when I did Spiders 20 without any legendaries, without any meta champs like Cold Heart, or at the time was Miscreated Monster was another meta champ. Another one was AoE HP Burn, which was Ultimate Gaelic. So I didn't have any of those dudes. All I had was something like this, actually. The theme is very similar to what I'm running right now. So once you start hitting stage 16 to 20, this is what I call phase 3 of Spiders. So phase 3 of Spiders, there's only 4 meta ways to win this fight. One, so right off the bat, starting phase 4, every comp will need decreased turn meter. Like, go figure, right? Every single comp will need decreased turn meter. So that is non-negotiable. You need to have decreased turn meter on your comps. I mean, you know, some comps could get away with like the extreme versions that I'm going to be talking about, but in general, you want decreased turn meter. So the first one and the most common one is probably AoE HP burn. So with AoE HP burn, you still want to tank because you want your HP burn guy to stay alive. You want the the spiderlings that take their turns, so a tank is still useful in AoE HP burn. Decreased turn meter definitely useful because you don't want the Spider Queen taking too many turns. But really, spiderlings take turns, they take the HP burn, it kills the Spider Queen. That's how it works. The next one is AoE damage that generates shield. So Miscreated Monster is one of this. Brogni does this. The reason why it's good is because it extends the run indeterminately. So whatever other win condition you have, War Master or whatever, the run practically keeps itself going forever. So that's the reason why something like that. So this is a farmable, although it's really slow, 8 to 10 minutes is a long run, but it's a farmable stage 16 run with all 3 champs before you get Seal of the Drakes. And the thresholds are going to be lower here. This is the cool thing about starting at 16. The thresholds are going to be lower, especially for Zephyr Sniper. So if you have her at like 200 resist here, it's going to be good enough, 250 really for better results, and then 3k depth is going to be good enough here, So there are a lot of things you can skimp on with Zephyr Sniper here, which is why it's good. And then the third way to beat Spider Queen is counterattack. So team counterattack, something like, well, if you think about it, it's really only, who is it? It's really only Valkyrie and what's the other one? The lady Martyr that can do that comp correctly. Because with Skull Crusher, he doesn't put the counterattack on himself, and the Spiderlings prefer the ones without the counterattack on. So that's the third way, is counterattack. And the third way actually is basically just 2 champs right now. And the fourth way is enemy max HP damage. So this is your Septimuses, your Cold Hearts, your Armiger could be a piece of that too, but it takes a little bit of tweaking with the stats. Alright, so this is gonna be the thumb probably. So let's kind of do that. Alright, so yeah. There is a fifth way, and the fifth way is what I just showed you right now, which is just straight up War Master spam. So the fifth way is the way people don't want to do the most, because frankly it takes the most time. And it's like the hardest to build, takes the most time. All those other comps are, it's challenging to build, but not as hard as building for this. And the reason why is because they have a clear path to victory, which is whatever. You just juice up your Spiderling tank. Make sure it lasts enough turns so your AoE HP burn can go, alright? Make sure your enemy HP damage is doing enough damage, going the right sequence, okay? Make sure you're protecting your team as long as possible to get the run done, okay? Those are all kind of like easy to do. Counterattack, same thing, right? So basically it makes your Zephyr Sniper last forever, so now you don't really need any kind of procs on your Zephyr Sniper. They hit her, she hits back, they hit her, she hits back, It's fast too, because you're getting a lot of War Master procs that way. War Master spam is like this: grindy, slow, and very finicky, very, very finicky. The cool thing about this though, it scales up to 20, and you don't need any of those meta stuff to get through spiders. The flip side is you need to learn all the meta stuff, because the meta stuff has actually expanded a lot more to what it was when Raid first started. So like AoE HP burn, there's just so many champs that do AoE HP burn now, And then like, everybody has Cold Heart, so Cold Heart is a way to do it too, which makes a big difference, right? So, I mean, everybody except some people like myself who never pulled it till after I got Arbiter. Story for a different time, That's about it. We'll revisit this with Filja, who I'm working on right now, and also next month we're going to be doing stuff with Syl in it. So we'll see what happens once you have Syl in your account, right? But yeah, before Syl, definitely possible to scale up to 16, farm 16. Yeah, it's slow. It's true. I mean, it is what it is, right? So we'll see y'all next time, yeah?